Today is the show where we talk about plants. Let's get into it. We got some awesome plants today on the 10 at 10. Howdy y'all, and welcome to the 10 at 10 for January 11th of 2024.
Hey guys, I'm Tim and that's my brother Matt. We do MrMaple.com. It's a mail order business. We ship directly to your door and we do over 1,000 varieties of Japanese maples. These trees today we're talking about get listed at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There will be 10 more that get listed with us as well. You can sign up for our weekly emails on Mr. Maple or go on at 10 a.m. today and see what's being offered.
All right, first up here on the table, we've got Acer Palmatum Atroline.
Y'all, Atroline, this is a red Linear strap leaf. Upright red. It's got some nice oranges to reds in the fall as well.
Now this tree is going to work zones 5 through 9, typically around 8 feet in 10 years, so a medium grower. That Linear Lobulum style foliage is excellent. You're going to love this for that airy, open, whimsical feel in the garden. I love Linear Lobulums for that Japanese gardening aesthetic they provide. I love how they look. Now it gives you everything you love about bamboo, but in a Japanese maple format. So it's not going to have invasive roots. It's going to have everything you love about the change in beauty and fall color of a Japanese maple. This red's going to go to a really bright scarlet red in the fall, really showing out in those fall months.
Y'all, this is a red upright to add in the garden. Gives you that traditional Japanese feel with some extra flair.
All right, let's bring back a classic, one of the fan favorites here, Acer Palmatum de Sojo.
This is so popular for bonsai. It's really popular in the nursery trade. It actually reached one of our top sales items of 2023. In the springtime, bright fire engine red. Goes to green during the summer, bright fire engine red again in the fall. The fall color and the spring color, they're very comparable. They're so intense. It's one of the most intense spring reds of any of the Japanese maples.
Now let's not kid ourselves. One of the reasons this one's so popular is because it's in every bonsai book. Every book you pick up on bonsai that has anything to do with Japanese maples, it says think about considering de Sojo for an excellent choice. That small foliage, that spring intensity makes it an awesome tree for that. Now, all of our trees are grafted. I actually suggest planting a grafted Japanese maple in the ground if you're going to do a bonsai, then taking your air layers or your rooted cuttings from that. You'll have endless amounts of material. One tree can do tons of bonsai that way, and a grafted tree is the best way to grow a Japanese maple in the ground.
Now, we love Japanese maples here at MrMaple.com, and if you love Japanese maples too, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. We put out daily YouTube videos each and every day here on the Mr. Maple Show on YouTube, and we also do a weekly podcast, so find us on your favorite podcast platform. We appreciate if you give us a 5-star review.
Our YouTube channel is really easy to find. It's what you're watching right now.
So right now, guys, we've got Acer Palmatum Kohime getting listed today.
Kohime, another awesome one for bonsai. You know, it doesn't have to be a bonsai. This is going to make that toadstool-like shape. Classic Japanese maple, that small little toadstool dome, bright purple border in the early spring, really shows out.
This is one of those plants that just makes that real beautiful spring interest in the spring with that purple-red border. It looks almost like it's flowering when it leaves out with that chartreuse kind of eye, the purple-red border. It has this dramatic effect that is just hard to even describe with its nice little round mounding shape. This is an excellent tree for containers, excellent tree for small places in the garden. I love this using this tree underneath windows. People want a tree that stays low and flat. That's exactly what Kohime will do. Even if you put this up closer towards your house and only get, a half moon shape out of this tree, it is outstanding for that under the window sill location where you want something that's going to be really low and doesn't get very tall.
So these are going to also work zones 5 through 9, exceptionally heat tolerant in some higher heat areas. You can grow this one in a good bit of sun, even somewhere like Alabama, so it's one of those durable plants. Love this one for everything that it brings. That shape's just going to really look amazing in a conifer garden, on top of a patio planter. Really anywhere you want a small, compact maple that's going to put on more width and height, think about adding a Kohime. Boom!
Guys, next up we got Acer Palmatum Aagasugui.
Oh, this one really brings it. I love what this has. It's basically a lavender dwarf purple ghost. When Talon first saw this one in Japan, he was like, what is this? And he was so enamored with it. Think of this as a lavender crazy colored purple ghost that's only going to get in that 6 to 8 foot range even in 15 years. So much smaller, much more compact. Now, you can play with the colors on this one by sunlight. I actually recommend a little bit more early morning sun to pick up some of those lavender purple shades.
I know Brian actually grew this in deep shade and got some weird, really like metallic greens with white veining. It just looks almost like metallic across the leaf. That's a fun thing to do with it too. You can put the tree in a container, find what color you like the best, but the lavender colors are unreal. I mean, that's really why I love Aagasugui. And it being one of the slowest growing of those reticulated Japanese maples, it does make an excellent container plant out there for the landscape and garden.
These are fresh in from our Buckholz nursery. Some great sizes on these. An excellent plant. Again, a great container plant too. I like to pair this obviously with something yellow, a Dragon Master, a Summer Gold. Those lavenders are going to play off that and really show out in the garden. But putting something like that Kohime in front of this makes an excellent pairing as well. I love all the color palette that this one brings. It really just shows out. It keeps changing a little bit each season. Makes a perfect pairing with something like Firefly as well.
So each and every week, we have tons of international viewers. If you're involved in the live chat, or just comment in the comment section below to let us know where you're watching from. Many of y'all can't even order Japanese maples from us, but you'll watch this just to hear people talking about Japanese maples. We appreciate you, and we appreciate our customers as well.
All right, guys, we're bringing back Acer Palmatum Pixie. Now, this is a fan favorite. This is a great pinkish red in the early spring, and one of those dwarfer trees that really fulfills a lot of people's gardening needs.
The color on this is really one of the brightest in the early spring. It stays dwarfer, more compact, can get more narrow with age. Love what this tree can do out the landscape. It fits in a lot of small spaces because it's a unique shape. I remember when we used to do garden shows, we made pixies so popular because we would say, man, we'd have tons of pixies lined out and everybody would be running off with them. People were selling blood goods next door and they changed the name. They said, we're selling Pixie now.
Here. Yeah, we're like, no, you don't. They were just seedlings. Now, an amazing plant though. This one is 6 to 8 foot as well. So right in that mid-size range, makes it a nice small upright. Works zones 5 through 9. Definitely can handle a little bit more sun up to zone 8. Love the color it brings. It's a red, but it's also a little bit more of a pinkish red. You get some pink undertones going on in there. Large leaf tree, very dense in its foliage as well, which gives it a very nice full look to it.
I like it because it's that red upright for small spaces, and it's an excellent tree to use. The landscaping and garden is getting ever smaller each and every day. And this is a great tree that can give you what you love about Japanese maples in that small landscape.
Could add a Pixie to the fairy garden. All right, we did one reticulated. Let's go try out another nice reticulated Japanese maple. Next up, we've got Acer Palmatum Ardne. Now, these are in from Buckholz Nursery as well. Exceptional reticulated Japanese maple. I love how snowflaked out the leaf is. The leaf has its own kind of jagged interest to it, and it really just gives Ardne something extra.
Now, not only does this tree have a unique like snowflake sort of reticulated variegation to this, but it also has a unique leaf shape. The leaf shape itself is a little more serrated than many of the other ghost types. It can give you some really nice apricots when it first leaves, then going to some really nice shades of lime green in there as well with some white creamy variegation. The colors are outrageous. It's a selection by our friend Cor van Gelderen of Esveld Nursery, and this makes a good mid-sized upright Japanese maple you're going to really love.
Excellent tree, guys. This one is, you know, it's almost like the original Peaches and Cream. Like, it's underrated. Like, it's out there, but it's still underrated. Like, people see this one, they go nuts for it. It's as popular as any of the Ghost series when people see it in person. It's been around a while, but it's not utilized enough.
Midsummer, if you have this in full sun, it may fade out a little bit. Giving protection from the hot afternoon sun can hold that color longer. But the new growth flushes during the summer are coral pink over top of that with some nice serrated foliage. It's an outstanding tree out there in the landscape, and it has some really nice oranges to reds in the fall as well.
Nakakoto Weaping. Check out these big ones we got back in stock. Love Nakakoto Weaping. You know, if you ask me what my favorite Japanese maple is that I've ever seen in person, it's got to be Nakakoto Weaping. 400, maybe even 600-year-old, according to some things. We know conservatively it's easily a 400-year-old tree. Just a treasure. It's actually the national treasure of Japan. Nakakoto Weaping brings it.
The national treasure of Japan. When Matt and I got to see it, it was in perfect fall color. Our friend and mentor Nakata-san took us over to go see this tree, and we'd always heard rumors of it. I mean, such an amazing specimen that just sprawls each and every direction. As you can see, they're starting to hook on these trees. That's exactly what Nakakoto Weaping does, and it does it in such a unique way. It makes a really nice specimen. And so if you plant this, it'll look like that 400 to 600-year-old tree in about 400 to 600 years.
Right. Typically, this one is more of a 5 by 6 foot tall, 5 by 6 foot wide, even in a 15-year span. makes more of an umbrella-like canopy, but you do get some of those crazy hooking shapes in there, some of those gnarly contortions, which make the main tree so popular. You'll get that even in a smaller size. I love this plant. It's durable. It works in full sun up to zone 8 on the East Coast. You know, some of you guys on the West Coast, the zones are tricky. You can push even a little bit further. California is a zone breaker for sure, but this one can handle a good bit of heat and sun and do exceptional. It's going to work zones 5 through 9. Excellent Japanese maple to be growing. And, you know, it's been one, people are like, how long do Japanese maples live? I'm like, if you have a happy, healthy tree, they should live well over 100 years old. There's an example of this one that's over 400, so they can make it a long time. They'll outlive us all if they're happy and healthy.
This is a piece of Japanese maple history. If you don't have a Nakakoto Weaping, you need one today.
We got Emmett's Pumpkin, guys. One of our most popular Acer japonicums coming back. Emmett's Pumpkin, maybe the most vigorous of all the Acer japonicums. I list this one, you know, up there. It's typically well over a foot of growth a year. I've had a 1.5 foot some years. It's an Acer japonicum that gets out there. So if you think a lot of your Acer japonicums are slow, try it if it's Pumpkin, because those things take off.
Now this has a very large elongated foliage. It's not perfectly round, but it's really more oblong. And when this thing goes into that bright pumpkin orange in the fall, it is outstanding. It looks like little pumpkins hanging off all the leaves of this tree. For me, this is one of the best of the japonicums. And if you want that bright orange fall color out there in the landscape, the japonicums do the fall color so well. Emmett's Pumpkin's definitely one you should try.
You also get an interesting blushing some seasons, especially if you've got a little bit of early morning sun. You can get kind of an orange blushing on this one in the early spring, just adding to it. Late day shade will give you your biggest, most interesting foliage on this. So you can give it late day shade. You'll get, you know, foliage that's 7, 8 inches wide. Some great looking foliage on this. Exceptional plant, Emmett's Pumpkin. We've had it here before. It always sells out. Always one of our most popular Acer japonicums.
All right, we got a couple things on the ground. You do your side or my side
Let's
first?
save that one for last, bro. We got a little secret back there for them. That's the one everybody's been waiting on.
So right here, we've got some 3 gallons of Acer Palmatum Red Dragon.
Now, we've had Red Dragon on the website before, but we wanted to show you some great looking 3 gallons. These are high grafted right here, and some excellent size spreads going on these right now.
What I like about Red Dragon is it's basically the fire glow of lace leaves. You get some orange red to the backside of the foliage when you grow this tree and more sunlight. Really peaks up the colors. And when this thing blows in the wind, you get some orange red, which makes this tree look brighter, colors across this tree. For a small weeping red lace leaf, Red Dragon really brings it, fits in smaller spaces, slower growing, and it really packs a punch of color.
This is a great plant. Now, one little cool thing about this, when you turn the leaf sideways, it looks like a Chinese dragon with a beard. You can actually lift the back up, has the little horns going on there, looks like a Chinese dragon's beard. Kids love that. Show a kid that. They're always going to come back and look at the leaf. Exceptional durability on this one. This is another plant that's going to do great in full sun up to zone 8 East Coast. West Coast rules are out the window. Sometimes it can go in zone 10 California, just depending on your heat index. But the East Coast is a great example of that. This can go in full sun in Alabama, guys. It's durable. It's heat tolerant. It's an exceptional fall color. I think Tim paired it nicely when he says, think of this as the lace leaf version of Fire Glow. Awesome plant to be growing. Acer Palmatum dissectum, Red Dragon.
And this is a selection by Red Maple Nurseries. Dick Wolf introduced Emperor One and so many classics. He often doesn't get credit for Red Dragon, but this is one of the most popular introductions that he introduced in the nursery trade.
All right, what you got left there, Tim? One more here to discuss. And guys, it's a hitter. We got something you've been waiting on for a while. We're bringing back Flamethrower. So a lot of you guys been waiting on Cersei's Flamethrower. It's back in stock.
Yo, we got Cersei's Flamethrower, and this thing puts on really nice shades of bright red over lime green yellow, and it looks like it's on fire. And it's going to light up the garden, and it's going to really make a showpiece.
One of our most popular trees, probably in 2020 when we first released this. It's sold out. We had a waiting list. I mean, people were showing up. It created a crazy situation. Everybody's after this one. It is sold in Europe, I believe, as Eternal Flame, so you'll see that sometimes pictures of that same plant. Flamethrower in the U.S., which is way cooler. Let's get a flame. I own a Flamethrower personally. They say you can't own a Flamethrower. I own a Flamethrower. Awesome plant. It will really light up your garden.
Denny Warner at NC State University developed a lot of amazing red buds, and this is probably his most popular one to date. I mean, the colors on this are groundbreaking when it comes to Cersei's, and this is a cool plant that pairs so well with the Japanese maples. You know, red buds, when they first leaf out, they bloom. So this gets pink-red blooms all across this. And then the foliage comes out. Heart-shaped foliage that's just outstanding. And the new growth flushes during the summer. That may be the peak season on Flamethrower when you have yellow down below and then you've got that red, fiery red coming off the new growth.
Oddly enough, my favorite season for this plant is like July to August. That's when they're at their most showy. They can handle a ton of sun. They actually get a glossy sheen to them. That's when you're getting green, red, yellow, pink, yellow. I mean, it's a flame of colors. It's so many different things going on at once. Don't sleep on these. They will sell out today. We have a decent sized set, but they don't last long, and some great looking 3 gallons in stock. So guys, that's our 10 at 10 for today. Let us know your favorite plant on today's 10 at 10. There's actually 20 plants in the email, so make sure to check your email, sign up for those emails. That's just 10 of the 20 that are listed today on MrMaple.com.
And before you go, don't forget to smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed. Take care. God bless.
Have a great day.